ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track, and ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
This is the Roger Stone Show, presented by Colonial Metals Group.
A man who's gone through hell, but he's kept going, and he's smart, and he's strong, and people love him. Not everybody, but people love him and respect him. Roger Stone.
Now, here's Roger Stone.
Welcome back, folks. Last week, President Donald Trump issued pardons or commutations for over 1,500 individuals who were involved in the events of January 6th. In many cases, those who had been convicted of nonviolent crimes had already served far more for their crimes, such as trespassing, than would normally be the case. And all of those incarcerated were subjected to extraordinarily inhumane conditions in the D.C. jail, conditions that include a lack of potable water, a denial of medical attention for life-threatening health issues, living in backed-up sewage. And if you complained, well, you were beaten, or your food was laced with cleaning chemicals or maggots. It's hard to believe that these conditions, violations of the Geneva Conventions, are allowed in America today. But one man who has been left behind, despite his full pardon, is Jeremy Brown. Jeremy Brown is a retired U.S. Army Special Forces Master Sergeant who took the oath in 1992 and served this country honorably for 20 years. He joined the Oath Keepers, an organization that commits itself to the U.S. Constitution, in the fall of 2020. And he was soon approached by members of the Tampa FBI's Joint Terrorist Task Force and the Department of Homeland Security before January 6, 2021, to become an informant. He quite legally recorded that meeting and turned the agents down. Then on January 6th, he went to D.C. for the Save the America rally at the Ellipse and to provide security at planned, legally permitted rallies at the Capitol as requested. His mission included providing security for a relative of one of the speakers at the permitted rally site. He never crossed any area closed signage. He never broke anything. He committed no violence. He was not in the group that entered the Capitol building. He saved a woman from being trampled after she was pushed to the ground by police as they forcefully shoved people backwards into a clear terrace area. Around March 2021, he published the attempted recruitment audio, knowing that there had been a plot of some kind against President Trump and the Oath Keepers, as Dr. Darren Beatty at Revolver.News has proven. At the end of September 21, he was arrested, and his residence was searched with an illegal search warrant signed by a D.C. magistrate for 2 misdemeanor charges using the out-of-jurisdiction pretext of terrorism. This is because a January 6th cooperating witness presented false hearsay to the FBI in January of 2021, meaning it was legally stale and uncorroborated, claiming that another Oath Keeper said Jeremy might have had explosives in his van when he drove from Virginia and Maryland. He didn't. The FBI warrant application deliberately bypassed the Florida magistrate. There were 2 guns found in the search of his home that came from his deceased brother. These guns were unregistered heirlooms that had short barrels and therefore would normally only be charged as a misdemeanor, if at all, under the IRS tax section of the U.S. Code. Jeremy never used those guns in any crime and never transported them across any state line. Indeed, he had no weapons with him in D.C. It was merely for possession of stored items, indeed, virtually antiques. He was convicted of felonies for the firearms he admittedly had. He was also convicted for 2 old fragmentation grenades and a CD, allegedly with classified something on it that neither he nor his girlfriend has ever before had, that were found by the ATF and the FBI searchers in her RV that was parked in the cul-de-sac outside his home. Can you say planted evidence? The 2 grenades had DNA, fingerprints, fibers, and hair that do not match Jeremy or his RV or his residence or his dogs. Yet he was convicted. Now, the pardon against Jeremy Brown in Florida is 100% January 6th related, and that's required by the full presidential proclamation. Nonetheless, Jeremy was arrested and imprisoned based on January 6th allegations that led to this pretextual search warrant. Here's the bottom line. After his D.C. case was dismissed on January 21st, U.S. Marshals decided on January 22nd at the D.C. jail where Jeremy was moved for trial during release of the January 6ers, that Jeremy Brown does not qualify for a pardon or release because of the Florida case conviction. That case is on appeal in front of the 11th Circuit in Florida. His appeal derives from the Florida Middle District conviction in Tampa that arose from the illegal, out-of-jurisdiction, and illegally conducted search warrant for January 6th charges. Joining me now is Jeremy Brown's attorney, Carolyn Stewart, who is here to talk about this horrific travesty and miscarriage of justice. Carolyn, welcome to the Roger Stone Show.
Yeah, thank you, Roger. It's good to be here today. And, to clear up a lot of confusion, because, there are a lot of people who are very, very interested in this case, and they know the wrongfulness of him still being imprisoned. They have to understand this is a federal charge in Florida that was January 6th related. The DOJ wanted to accuse him of being a terrorist. We're going to get an out-of-jurisdiction warrant, but it was brought in federal court, so it falls under the president's pardon authority, and because it's January 6th related. But there's a disconnect in the DOJ where the right hand and left hand aren't talking. The DOJ in D.C. was like, clearly, his case is dismissed. And what they're doing on the January 6th, what has to happen under pardon, is because he was convicted and then he was not fully convicted because his case is on appeal. You could read the pardon language. If you're not fully convicted, the case is the charges should be vacated and dismissed. That's what they're doing up in the D.C. Circuit, but the 11th Circuit's not doing it. Well, I don't expect the judges to sua sponte on their own look at this. They should if they've read the case. It's due for oral argument in March, but it's a matter of the Florida U.S. attorney. So this is, again, it's a continued persecution, trying to keep him in prison. Everybody else is out, even other oath keepers were commuted, but the majority are pardoned. And yet he's sitting there, and we can't get him out because the U.S. Marshals say, we're just responding to a detention, and we have to take him back. So they don't even call attorneys when they're moving people around. They don't call families. They might give the person a phone call. The jail won't talk, and then we can get into the conditions at the jail where he's currently at. If anybody can imagine, the D.C. Gulag now is rated as having better conditions than this one in Grayson, Oklahoma. So, Governor Beshear, don't be too proud of yourself. We have a representative in the state who's trying to help, but this is absolutely horrendous, Roger.
It is really shocking. I want to go through this to be absolutely clear. Jeremy Brown never assaulted anybody, did he?
No, not at all.
Jeremy Brown never entered the U.S. Capitol, did he?
Nope, not at all.
Jeremy Brown was not involved in any conspiracy to enter the Capitol, was he?
Oh, my goodness, no. And there's nothing even on text or chats or all the BS that the prosecution makes up. As you know, they go back and say, oh, look at these texts from 6 months ago. The guy said something negative about the government. He must be a traitor. I mean, it's ridiculous. But, go ahead.
Yeah, it is really extraordinary. They're defying a presidential pardon. They're doing it because they can. It was chilling the other morning when I got a text from you. They removed him at 5:15 a.m. in the morning to take him out of the D.C. gulag, to take him to Kentucky. I guess he may or may not be on his way to another horrific federal prison in Oklahoma. This case cries out for justice. And folks, you can help. We need your help. You can go to Give, Send, Go. I want to say that, first of all, Carolyn Stewart is working pro bono. She takes not a penny for her representation of Jeremy Brown and her fight. But Jeremy Brown and his mother and his girlfriend, Tylene Aldridge, they do need your support. And you can go to GiveSendGo.com, GiveSendGo. His page is there. It's called Defend All Americans' Constitutional Right. Jeremy Brown swore an oath to Almighty God that he would protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. He has done that. He has committed no crime here. He's being punished because he refused to be a snitch. And he has the recording which he released. He's refused to be a snitch. So, folks, please go to GiveSendGo.com and support this valiant patriot who has done nothing whatsoever wrong. We'll be right back. I'm Roger Stone. This is The Roger Stone Show, and we're talking to criminal defense lawyer, in this case, Carolyn Stewart.
This is The Roger Stone Show.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
Morning decisions. A creamy mocha frappuccino drink? A sweet vanilla? Maybe a smooth caramel or that white chocolate mocha. Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Start your day with bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drinks. Pick up a bottle near you wherever you buy your groceries.
Shopping is hard, right? But I found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. And he sends just for me pieces, plus outfit recommendations and styling tips. I keep what works and send back the rest. It's so easy. Make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Spotify. That's stitchfix.com/Spotify.
Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, and Donald Trump.
They went after a guy named Roger Stone who's sitting in the office. And I'll say this in front of Roger, he's no baby. And right now he's cleaner than anybody in this place. knows they treated him very unfairly.
All of these presidents relied on one man to secure their seat in the Oval Office. That man is Roger Stone.
Roger Stone.
This is the Roger Stone Show, presented by Colonial Metals Group. Now, here's Roger Stone.
And we're back. We are talking to Carolyn Stewart, who is the attorney representing Master Sergeant Green Beret Jeremy Brown, who, despite his full and unconditional presidential pardon, continues to be held in the most horrific incarceration by the Bureau of Prisons and U.S. Marshals in direct defiance of the order given for a full pardon by President Donald Trump. Caroline, I'm kind of interested in you. You told me the other day that you didn't decide to go to law school until you were 60 years old, that you're handling this case pro bono, that you're representing others with January 6 issues. Tell us a little bit about you, if you would.
Okay, thanks. Well, you gave away state secrets because I've never gone past 39 years old, but we'll let that one. We'll let that slide, Roger.
I apologize. I got that wrong.
No, yeah, you had bad information. So, yeah, I was working. I myself was attacked by the deep state as an intel analyst for putting out, and that was in the time of Clapper Brennan. But I fought it. I won. I mean, they tried to attack me, and. I stayed there, but I woke up one morning and I'm like, wait, I should go to law school. And so whatever occurred overnight, from March of 2017 until, I ran and took the LSAT and got accepted at Ave Maria School of Law, along with a couple of others. And I went there. I thoroughly enjoyed it. A wonderful place in Naples. Accolades to them. And I took the bar exam, passed it. We were delayed because of COVID. We never had a graduation. We did some online things, but, this was all the COVID. Nobody, so all the horrible things with that. But within I'm starting my law business. I'm doing some EEO cases, some labor law, helping some people with local things. My whole intent was always to just do pro bono and to help vets and their families. But former military referred a January 6er to me in August of 2021, whose attorney had him plead guilty to the infamous 1512, which the Supreme Court overturned as having been misapplied in the January 6 cases. But they sent him to me, and, here I am, Roger, I'm telling this guy, I've never done a criminal case. I'll research it, I'll help you. But, the other attorney had taken all of his life savings to force him into this plea deal. So, that kind of started it, and then people started coming. So I'm kind of like the German Gasthaus for people who, have been out in, rural or areas of Germany where, everybody just knows where the Gasthauses are. And that's me. I don't even have a website, so I don't want anybody to try to look for it. I just get recommendations, and that's the kind of law I'm doing. I'm trying to bring law to people who generally hate lawyers or don't want to have anything to do with lawyers, but they should have access to the courts and to the proper things. And then, I feel very bad, but I've had to turn away some requests from January 6 clients, and those are generally the people who have retained somebody, and after about a year of their case have realized they weren't getting any help, but it was kind of too late for me to come in. The amount of work in these cases for attorneys who are really doing their job and are defending their clients is huge because it's all video. I mean, even just in Jeremy Brown's case, to go in and look at the video, but other cases, and to let you know, I think my religious background, my faith in God has helped me because you've done everything. You've planned. You've put the 100 hours in before going into the courtroom. You're pretty sure you're going to lose, but you put the evidence out there, and you get smacked down. But your client, who you care about their family, you know them at this point, has been convicted, and that's the thing that I think even now Vice President Vance gets, that there's been no due process, there's been no justice, there's been no partial. So it's also been an awakening for me that if I hadn't had my faith, I don't know that I could pray and just get back up every day. there have been attorneys who've tried and then they just say, I can't do this anymore. And there aren't enough attorneys who cared about justice. They just think everybody's guilty because they were there. This is what a lot of these defendants have been faced with across the board.
Well, as someone who's had 5 miracles in his own life, someone who is redeemed in the blood of the cross, somebody who returned to his faith and completely changed their life. By the way, my wife and I are thinking about moving to Ave Maria as Catholics. It's a wonderful community. Yeah. God bless you for taking this fight on. It is tough to get knocked down and just keep getting back up. But as I said earlier in the program, this is why I admire the late President Richard Nixon because of his resilience. I think it was Vince Lombardi who says it's not how many times you get knocked down, but it's how many times you get up. I'm not going to quit in this fight for justice for Jeremy Brown. I was aware of his case from the very beginning, spoke out before him on his behalf much earlier. I'm going to keep speaking out about it. I have reason to believe that the president and those at the Justice Department are now fully aware of what's going on, and I am praying that they will step into this situation and help you achieve the justice that he so richly deserves. Here's a man who has served his country with distinction, and he did nothing whatsoever wrong. A ranger, a Green Beret, a firefighter, a citizen, a small business owner, a coach, a congressional candidate, and now a political prisoner. Again, I stress, he assaulted no one. He damaged no government property. He didn't trespass. He didn't harm anyone. There is no crime here other than the crime of refusing to be a snitch for the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, and therefore he's being made an example of. It's egregious, it's sinful, it's evil, but we will not give up. We will not give up until we achieve justice for Jeremy Brown and we sustain him. Folks, once again, you can help Jeremy Brown, his mom, his family, by going to GiveSendGo.com. His page is called Defend All Americans' Constitutional Rights. This is one of the most outrageous, abusive cases of political persecution that I've seen. It's up there with the case against me. And we can't leave anyone behind on the field. This is an innocent man who's being literally tortured over politics. This is raw politics. I hope not only will the president intervene with the 11th Circuit as appropriate by law, and demonstrate that Jeremy Brown received a full and unconditional pardon. And the idea that his conviction is related to anything other than January 6th is nonsensical. This search of his home, where they found very clearly planted evidence, this is something that no American should stand for. So, Carolyn, God bless you in this fight. God bless your client. We stand with you, and we won't stop fighting until Jeremy Brown is free. God bless you.
All right, thank God bless you. All right, thank you.